boys. Fresh water, salt water, watch out, boys. Fast Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. It's me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and...
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yep, it's me, Don McDowell, with JK and Zimbabwe Joe. Joe Notcher from Lookout Mountain Outdoors, man. Welcome. I got to tell you,
He makes a great-looking gun bearer, by the way.
Yeah, the problem with gun bearers, you have to get one like Joey that can't run really fast.
I agree.
Okay.
And that's the point.
Okay, we're on the same page.
He has synthetic hips. Yeah, you can do better.
Key word here is gun bearer. You will be in front of me.
Yeah, but he gets to carry one, too.
Nice.
See?
Yeah.
Joey, then the odds are against you, my man.
Hey, a lot of stuff going on around the state. We're dry. Be very, very careful with campfires. John, what was the last prognosis and damage up there on that slide fire?
Well, the slide fire, they're letting some of those areas burn, which is really good because it was needed. It's over 55% contained. They knew it was not going to damage any structures. It was somewhere around 19,000. 90% contained now? Great.
Nice.
I knew that they had close to 22,000 square acres, or 22,000 acres had been burned.
I'm curious, did they ever determine the cause of the source of the fire?
Just that it was human caused, that was it. That's still under investigation.
Yeah.
Although lightning strikes are always just as good.
Yep. Well, those woods need to be thinned, and I'm not going to pick on
Oh, you mean the Forest
the
Service?
U.S.
Smoke? No,
Forest
don't
Service
do
today.
that. Just jump all over Smokey. It's his fault.
You know, I saw Smokey the Bear the last couple of times up at the, last time was at the Payson Wildlife Fair. You know Smokey's got a bodyguard?
He needs one up in that area.
I am serious. What has our world come to when Smokey the Bear has to have a bodyguard?
Well, I'm seeing too many people.
Can you help me with that?
Well, yeah, look how many forest fires have burned 500,000 acres in Arizona alone, for crying out loud. And part of it is because we mismanaged the forests. We loved them to death. We cared for, nurtured, and let them grow too thick. That's the problem. Now what we face is the fact that unless there's severe thinning, you're looking at a Forest Service that spends half their year, 90-day period is when they spend 80% of their money, and that's fighting fires in the spring.
Fighting fires,
yep.
Well, my hat's off to them for that. Joey, what's happening up at Lookout Mountain Outdoors, 4 blocks south of the candy store?
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
It is.
It's, we're hitting the summer months. Shooting sports kind of taper off a little bit, but the hunting season starts kicking in.
I'm not quite tracking on that because, my son and I and JK, Patrick, we're all trying to get ready and dialed in on our deer hunt. And it's like fishing. We never quit here. I don't know why it's down.
Hard to say. Economy, obviously, a big main reason.
You mean the change? Yeah.
The change.
How do you like the change?
Yeah, how do you like the change? Archery picked up, a little bit because the bow hunters they may shoot more during the summer than a lot of the
they do.
Firearms guys do. So, they're preparing for the August hunts, August, September elk hunts, and so that picks up a little bit. And then maps, got a section of maps there, and that's always pretty busy. So
Maps.
Oh, yeah.
Wide world of maps.
You have some topo maps for 3A, 3C, by the way, just specifically those units, because I've got the Apache Sick Graves map, and it breaks it out into all those units, but I'd like something a little more defined just for one unit.
This is what we've got going. Wide World makes probably 1/3 of the over 1,500 quadrants that are in the state. Those are always in stock, which would probably include anything that you're looking for. But if not, the owner, Jim Willinger, brought the plotter down to my store, and on Mondays, and Jim gives me Paul on Mondays, and Paul knows how to run the plotter. So any topo that you're looking for in the whole U.S., he'll make while you're waiting.
Custom maps?
No, it's a topo
Yep.
Well, yeah,
but they have a program,
specific area that you want.
Yeah, you pick it out.
That's a custom map, John. Nice.
Well, it's still the topos though. So if your specific spot is on a corner, you're looking at 4 maps.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now, down the road, I've been talking to Jim about getting the program that will allow you to actually pick a spot.
Nice.
And then we'll build a map, and if you want it laminated, we'll go ahead and laminate it. So anybody looking for looking for a map in an oddball area that they probably don't have in stock, if you come in on Mondays, it'll be made for you while you're waiting.
See, the problem though when you combine in a unit, like I had one that I put together over the years for like 4A and 4B. Well, you're talking something that's 6 feet long and 4 feet high.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a huge map that you're looking at. And granted, it gives you a better perspective. What I'd like to see is something that's just for a unit that's custom made and just has the hunt unit itself, nothing else.
Well, they do make that. The problem with those maps is they don't label roads. So it's like Forest Service and the guys doing the topos don't get together. Now, I do believe there might be some super custom stuff out that you got to order and pay through the nose for it. But some of the game management unit maps, the ones that have a lot of detail, show very little roads. They'll show you springs, water. I mean, they'll show you the water, the elevation, and everything else. But road systems are a little lacking on those.
Yeah, and road systems are key. Because we know, I had some maps that went back to the 60s, which was, the Forest Service teams, they only did their surveys, like every 30 to 40 years. And I had mine up in 4A and 4B, and it showed virtually almost no roads. And then all of a sudden, after the explosion of off-highway vehicles, it was incredible because everywhere you went there were roads, and they weren't showing up on it. So they finally did some.
I've been
with Google Earth. That helped a lot.
Working with Joey on some of my mapping needs in the Acme Mapper program on the internet. It's just become invaluable.
Yeah, you get hooked on that
big time.
It allows you to change out without changing websites. Immediately from topo to Google, which if they shot on a clear day, you can find individual trees. And trust me, I have found more water sources than you can imagine by gridding an area out.
Yeah, we just did that on one, and then the other thing, JK, is it's got a hybrid button. You push the button and it takes the topo, overlays it on the satellite image.
Really?
Way cool. Yeah.
Well, apparently they're taking that away now.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Well, they were overlaying Forest Service roads over top of Google. In that hybrid system at least lately, when I've gone on their website, it's not there anymore.
Wow.
Somebody didn't like
No, I was just on that last week.
Now it'll still list roads on Google, but not as detailed as that hybrid version that they had
the hybrid
last year.
Well, we've been looking. We have some research needs and looking for an interactive IMAP. Now the department is using one for quagga mussels, and
they need a map to find quagga mussels.
Well,
it's underwater.
I'm not going to go down that road. I promised Director Boyles I'd be good today. Let's just say it's a interactive map you can run on your iPhone or computer and have cross information. You're able to pinpoint, make a note with all your notes, your comments, GPS waypoints, on and on and on and on and on and on. So my thought is to take and convert that to what we do, as well as lakes.
Okay.
So, yeah, absolutely.
So wherever they spot a quagga mussel, they're going to mark a GPS point so you can see where they're at.
Let's take Red Mountain Lake out in East Mesa as an example. Yeah, that's a urban lake that's has the measles, so to speak, and they're keeping an eye on it. SRP's engaged in their canal system, which is extensive.
Well, they definitely have guard muscles in that.
Little dots. Okay, on gate A42R, we have 3, and so on and so on and so on. So, yeah, it's the only good thing I've seen come out of AIS in a while. So.
That's a whole lot of tracking for quad whistles.
Yeah, before we go to the break, I want to congratulate you on ADA and
well, you're part of it, buddy.
Arizona. I didn't make the program.
Oh boy.
That the Arizona Antelope Foundation did a joint banquet. Is that the first time they've ever had a joint effort?
No, we had one 3 years ago, I think. 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't go to that one, but last year was good. This year, I think, was even better. I've been to a lot of those types of things, and this one ran extremely smooth.
Yeah, we were done at 9:30.
Yeah,
amazed me. I've seen some that go to 11:30,
and they made some money, which was fantastic.
We'll talk about that and how the money's used. It all goes to a really good cause. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Thanks for joining us today.
Special K.
Special K.
Joe Nocta.
With special needs. Not you. Hey, we'll be right back.
Mountains that stood the test of time.
Yeah, boy. Hey, we're back. Thanks for hanging with us today. JK, the Antelope Foundation and the Arizona Deer Association are out raising money, selling tags. What was the final rundown and count on money raised through the Commissioner's Special Tags?
The Commissioner's Special Tags, when you look at the whitetail tag, went, I think it was $35,000 last night, which was higher than it's ever been sold for.
Okay.
The antelope tag, I can't remember the bottom line, but I know it matched what it had in the past. And the mule deer
was about $40,000, let's say.
And then the mule deer tag, while not matching last year's $245,000, still did $220,000. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. And the Commissioner's tags, just for those who don't know, there's one tag that's given to us by the Arizona Game and Fish Commission, and it's through a legislative process that took place years ago. There's one species, and we auction off one. There's one raffled, and then each organization has one big game animal to raffle off. And the funds that are raised for that are specifically geared toward that particular species for habitat project improvements.
Does that money go back to the department?
It goes back to the department. Cannot be swept, cannot be touched. It's special funding. And all of the sportsmen of Arizona and the Habitat Partnership Committees, which are located all throughout the whole state, all have an opportunity starting September 1st. All the projects that is kind of like a wish list, your Christmas list.
Sure.
You come up with an idea of a project, and the project is a good example. The project that you and I worked on, the Twin Buttes catchment. That project had been submitted 4 years ago, then 3 years ago, then 2 years ago, and finally it was approved by us.
That's where I put it in for my rifled deer. What an awesome place for an ambush.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Well, that project, the cost for that, materials, and all the labor that came in on that, not including our designated free labor, but the project comes in at over $45,000.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the materials, those 4 tanks, the walk-in trough, all of the steel, the aluminum, and everything else.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the type of thing that this money, when it's raised, we can do 4 or 5 of those in specific areas all across the state.
Nice. And
between the super big game raffle and the auction tags that go out, typically that pot's going to be about $1.5 million a year.
We've been hearing a lot of discussion of late. There's always just a little bit of discussion about aerial gunning on predators, but there was
such a hot item, and I love it.
There was a lot of buzz last night on aerial gunning.
There are specific areas where there's low-density populations, or where particular landowners have approved of it. And there are people who have big ranches, and we're finding that if you're going to do any kind of predator removal, you cannot go in and just shoot a few coyotes because they fill in. I mean, it's like cockroaches, the same thing.
Well, Joey had a remark about the lions down in the Catalina with the bighorn sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Cofus.
Well, both of them have the same issue. Yeah. I mean, the Catalinas and the Covas. Yeah. I mean, although, quite frankly, the way you did the Catalinas was wrong.
3 days later, here comes another one.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't want to necessarily do that. But when you start to do a removal, you have to do it in a very concentrated effort for an extended period of time and in a wide enough area that you can have some habitat improvements on the ground. Unit 10, they've taken out over 560 coyotes over a 2-year period.
Yikes.
That's just one unit. I mean, it's a phenomenal amount that can happen when you do that.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing.
Well, in the late 70s, they absolutely devastated Anderson Mesa and the antelope herd up there to the point where they were flying choppers to help take coyotes out.
That's my home territory. Was it about 1964 they did the any deer hunt? Statewide, there was an any deer hunt. And then the Forest Service and the Game Department got into a little tiff, let's say. And were clearing Anderson Mesa. They went in there with dozers and started knocking over just acres and acres and acres of cedar trees. Got in some kind of a whizzing contest. Nobody won it. The game was impacted because, as you know, when you change the habitat, what they did was they made it more suitable for rodents.
Oh,
bottom of the food chain. Bam! Coyote explosion, bobcat explosion, wiped out the antelope herd up there.
Oh, if you take a look at pictures of Arizona in the late 1890s and the early 1900s, which is when they really first had cameras that were able to take the photographs, and I've seen a lot of those photos from back in that time frame, and then you look at the exact same area 100 years later, we had an explosion of trees. And what's happened is they suck water. Your pinyon juniper trees suck water worse than anything else. Yep. Your ponderosa forests, I understand. They're pretty, they're good, they're nice and everything else, but you still need to have fires that go through. Those low, not hot-running fires that go through very quickly.
I think that's what's happening up here on this slide.
Well, right now they're taking care of the forest the way it should be. Let it burn as much as possible.
It's a low burn.
Yeah. Right now it is, but it was hot when it started.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest problem. But when you take a look at the photos, the amount of energy that were required and the amount of water that it takes to sustain all those pinyon juniper trees, which are really virtually worthless, it's caused a huge issue. Now, if they can get through and take some of those, when you take a look at all of that, you say, oh my God, that's why what's happened. And, the antelope are almost virtually a plains animal. And when you cut down, and then all of a sudden you do the scarfing, or back in the 60s they used to do chaining, which was really a cool way of taking care of some trees. I love that stuff.
And they quit that because why?
NEPA, Archae studies, all of those things. Archae studies, for those who don't know, archaeological surveys. If there are artifacts from Native Americans and historical data, then you cannot disturb the land that they're on currently. And that's part of the archaeological stuff that we're trying to maintain, some of the integrity of what was for years and years and years. And so consequently, that's what you can't do projects like you used to be able to do them. Chaining is very indiscriminate. It does a fabulous job of clearing stuff up, but it takes everything with it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I've personally seen in 5B North they had 2 fires in the 90s that they went ahead and let burn. And I mean, I'm talking in this is mosaic burn. So,
yes.
But from the base Anderson Mesa out to I-40 was absolute solid juniper thickets. There might have been a few little valleys here and there, but nothing major. But since that happened, that elk population absolutely exploded, and now on the 126 road where we'd only see antelope on the east side of the road, now they're just dominating on the west side where the burn was.
Yeah,
so it's actually helped the game big time.
We talked about it. Rodeo Chetasky fire was the best thing to happen to wildlife. Yes, and it's really unfortunate that people lost homes, etc. But because of what the Forest Service did, there was no food available. When you've got that big a canopy that's blocking out everything on the ground, there's no food for wildlife to eat. All you've got are trees. You know, the wallow fire is going to be the best thing in this year and next year and the year after. Units 1 and 27 are the best places to put in for elk and deer tags because there's going to be explosion of population.
Well, that deadline's coming around the corner. Yeah, buddy.
That's right. For those who haven't put in, do it.
Putting in for deer, elk?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get an elk tag?
No, but my wife did.
My son did. How about you, Don?
Both of you. I'm not taking you to Africa either. Love it. Well, you know.
By the way, that was an awfully nice bid that you put in for that hunt.
Yeah, you know, there were some bargains to be had.
Yes, there were. You got a great hunt coming up.
I'm looking forward to be schooled by
Joey,
Mr. Nacha. And
Don, you stole that thing.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, you stole that hunt.
Now, do you have to learn to speak the language?
Yeah, it's called greenbacks. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
Take a lot of them, Don. A whole lot, because you're going to be spending on months.
You know, the only things right now is on my bucket list is a damn warthog, and I can't figure that out. It's like, what's the attraction?
He's into
kudu,
pigs.
gives buck, this buck, that buck.
Here, pigs, warthogs, javelina, feral hogs. You've been doing too much research on pigs. You like bacon too
Get the
much.
barbecue sauce out. Yeah, baby. All right, we're going to stand down. Thank Bill and Chrysler Jeep Dodge for making this all possible. I'm here with Big Game Guide, world-renowned hunter Joe Nacha.
And Kim Carter's favorite bidder.
Oh, man, yeah. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Boy, I'll tell you what, fishing over on the saltwater side of life over on the left coast is blowing up. The Chief is out on a 2.5 day. On day one, they have 32 anglers, 167 yellowfin tunas, 72 yellowtail.
Serious?
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, there's a couple other boats that are...
there's some sore biceps.
Oh, yeah. Well... Out of the 6 boats that were out or are out, you know, even the half and 3/4 day boats are running. There was 32 California barracudas. Of course, the California barracuda. That's where they live. 42 kelp bass, 2 lingcod, 74 Pacific mackerels, 22 vermilion rockfish, 121 rockfish, sheephead, very, very tasty. 24 scorpion fish.
What are scorpion fish?
Bad fish.
Serious?
Yeah. You stick yourself, you're going to die. It's real simple. And then 76 yellowtail, 44 barred sand bass, and then the 167. Nice. That's the total for the fleet as of yesterday. So when we talked to Ricky over at the tackle shop after the top of the first hour, I'm curious to know if the any of the real long-range boats are out. The Red Rooster 3 huge boat. I know the Legend is out on. Yesterday was day one of a 2.5 day trip. They've got 29 guys on board. 145 yellowtail, 25 yellowfin.
Oh my!
Yeah,
that's a lot of line in the water and out.
I'll tell you what, that's an upper body workout. Yeah, about 4 of those guys, you can go sit down. Give me a beer.
Yellowtail, they're just strong.
Joey, this year, these yellows are running up to 40 pounds.
Yeah, that's what they were reporting. 40
That's like the good old days there.
Yeah, 40-pound yellowtail. Gonna put you in the hurt locker. So.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Yeah, well, we've got, strategically, we have one more real bad week schedule-wise for me. I don't know how your schedule is, but Wednesday, and I'll throw this invitation out to anybody that wants to join us. The Big Game Forever Glendale chapter is
I am so looking forward to that.
Hosting a grassroots barbecue, kind of a potluck, BGF's going to serve the hamburgers. We'll have cold drinks and what have you. Sean Matthews is coming in from Washington, D.C. to give us an update on precisely where the Congress and some of the other lawmakers are looking at this wolf issue. And because we haven't really had an update on that for quite some time. And then that's at Saguaro Ranch Park, 9802 North 59th Avenue on the west side, the old historic Saguaro Ranch.
Yep.
Yeah, right down
that is critical for sportsmen to try and attend. I mean, I'm even going to get in the kitchen and cook again.
Nice.
I'll bring something special for you, Don.
Uh-oh.
I will.
This is a Hungarian
special meal. That's right. Remember that.
Okay.
Just remember that.
It's all good.
It's a gypsy special.
Yeah, we're expecting 50 to 75 folks to come out. So if you want, I'll give you a couple of phone numbers. You can RSVP to my email address, don@shakerattletroll.com, or when we close this thing out, I'll give a couple of phone numbers out. So, yeah, here's the beauty of it. You don't have to be a hunter.
No.
And our hunters are engaged. They get it. What we're trying to do is educate the public that 70% that Sandy Bar.
They have been, the population that doesn't hunt and is not aware of anything has been sold the biggest bill of goods by the Defenders of Wildlife, Center for Biological Diversity, and the Sierra Club. That it's so pathetic how much, and they're quite frankly lies, absolute frickin' lies as to what's gone on out there in the world. We know that. You cannot have what's going on right now, and they're being lied to, and they don't know it.
Yeah, we're going to try to straighten some of that out, and the only way we can do it is through these grassroots efforts. After this one's done, Sean Mathewson's rolling up to the Payson, Overguard, Heber area.
He's going to talk to those guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think most of those guys are pretty keyed in, but, we're talking about Joe the plumber, average Joe. And then we have guys like Super Joe over here.
Super Joe, gun bearer, not dog.
Yeah.
With my titanium hips.
Yeah, buddy.
He can't run.
Now, with that titanium...
lions can smell that you can't run. They know.
Yeah, but I'm going to shoot you in the knee anyway, JK.
Yeah. All you got to do is beat JK.
Yeah, that's
Talk about friendly fire all the time.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's good stuff. Back on the fishing side of life, this migratory pattern is being kind of weird. The yellowtail are holding very, very, very strong. A couple of weeks ago, the yellowfin popped up right in the middle of the bluefin. Where'd the bluefin go?
Yeah, that was my question. You didn't read anything on bluefin.
I've checked five different landings. Nobody's got a bluefin.
What'd they do? Take a detour and went back south?
I'm not sure. They follow the warm water current, but generally what happens, there's a migratory parade. Yellowtail come in,
right?
Albacore come in, bluefin come in, yellowfin come in.
What's the one that comes in last where we know everything's done?
Skipjack.
Yeah,
cat food.
Yep. Once they come in, we know it's over.
Yeah, you got about, once they start showing, 2.5 weeks.
Get the light tackle out.
Oh, they're a blast to catch.
They are?
Yeah, they're nasty to eat.
Oh. Is there anything more blood red than a...
No.
Yeah.
Oh, serious?
No, we tried
ugly
tacos.
You can't do it.
Yeah, they're not worth eating. So, I don't know. Now it's time to book the trip. I think it's going to hold pretty solid. We're looking at mid-June, mid-July, long range.
We have to make a trip up towards the end of June.
Yeah.
We just have to take a Wednesday, Thursday, and just say, we're out of here.
Yeah, at least a day and a half.
Yeah. Day and a half trip.
I would guess they're probably running, Rick will confirm it, but they're probably running 120 right now.
120 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too far for a day trip.
Yeah, but you know what? By the time the end of June comes, we may be in that realm of the day trip. If they're coming up.
Well, maybe, if they break the 100-mile mark, yeah. And then, because then you get the little guys, the Alicia boats, Captain Sharp, good friend, runs the Blue Horizon, little 55-footer. 14 guys, off you go.
Have you heard anything in the Gulf?
Other than the hurricane stirring some stuff up.
The hurricane still, what's the status on
Has
that?
the commercial fishermen really killed the Gulf, or is it coming back? I mean, I know they've put some sanctions on.
Which Gulf? You talking the ones in the Sea of Cortez? Or
Sea of Cortez.
I'm going to put it this way. The Mexican government the last few years has been more conservation-minded than they ever have been. The north region of the Sea of Cortez, there was a moratorium on any type of fishing up there, and that's been a couple of years. The shrimpers go up there anyway. They don't care. The shrimpers are getting busted.
Really?
Yeah. And there's a kind of a worldwide wake-up call on the billfish. The Billfish Association has worked with the folks over in Cabo San Lucas, East Cape, Magdalena Bay, Mulegé, some other stops, trying to stop the slaughter and encourage the catch and release of billfish.
Okay.
There's no sense in taking them to the beach.
No.
I was down there with Mike Ritz, and we had a couple of days out of East Cape, and we were catching marlin, big sailfish. We got into the dock, and there was one hanging, and the whole community was pissed
Because they
were trying to find the captain of the boat. It's the captain's responsibility. And
I mean, if you go back historically, back 30 years ago, I mean, we'd go into business offices, and there, if the guy was a very successful saltwater fisherman, he invariably had a big marlin on the wall.
Well, back at that time, you had to harvest the fish. Nowadays, you take a picture, you take a girth, length measurement, bam, you got a fiberglass replica.
Have you seen Cabo?
What do you mean?
Well, almost every boat captain there going out for marlin is encouraging you to get a mount gun and kill the fish. And I personally witnessed probably 40 marlin chopped up, sitting in a butcher area, all tagged.
That's no bueno, Carlos. Anyway, we're going to stand down and take a break. The good news is we do not have roll call this week.
Amen.
No official KIAs.
Awesome.
A number of WIAs in theater, but it's good news. We don't have to talk about that today. We'll be right back.
Then she said, I don't understand.
Get a rooster finally hit the ground just the other day.
All righty, we're back. Talk a little bit about the saltwater side of life. Joey, how much saltwater fishing have you gotten in your illustrious career?
Actually, quite a bit. A lot on the Sea of Cortez, and then Costa Rica. Got to fish
nice.
fish down there once.
It's interesting. Costa Rica just put a moratorium on hunting recently.
Oh, yeah. I knew that one was coming in.
Not quite tracking on that, but...
Well, I've got a lot of saltwater experience as well.
Hunting there would be incredibly difficult, as thick as that stuff is.
How about yourself, JK? You say what?
I got time on saltwater. I do. Atlantic Ocean, 8 hours. An unbelievable experience. I came in with a barracuda, and that was it. I said, no more.
Well, one thing I've heard about
they didn't have Dramamine back then.
The Atlantic, it has a nasty reputation, and it's all true.
Yeah.
You're out there in a 36-foot vessel, and waves are 20, running 20 to 25 with no wind blowing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a little beyond bumpy. But, last week we profiled the Top Gun 80.
Right.
80-footer, 22-foot wide, sleeps 25 folks. pretty comfortably.
By the way, that is an incredible video showing an awesome ship. There is no question about that. That is one fine boat to be on.
Well, there's a couple more over there that I'd highly recommend. The long range trips. The First String is over there, and the excellent vessel. Now that boat will take up to I want to say 48.
Ooh, yeah. 48 guys on the same boat.
Big old boat. Well, you have to be good friends, let's say.
Yeah. But that kind of downtime. That's a week trip?
You can. Yeah, run 5 days, 10 days, 14 days. Now, there is a trip. It's a 14-day trip. You pull out, fish all the way down the west side of the Baja, get down at the end of the Baja to Socorro Island and Bonitas and some of the other islands down there. They dump you off at Mazatlan. You get a jet back to the States.
Ooh. Huh.
I'm just saying you get to fish 14 days.
Yeah, but I want that fish. If I'm going to spend that kind of energy, I want to eat it.
Fish all the way back. But anyway, the First String's 25 feet wide, 93-foot vessel. It kind of reminds me of the old Bill Pulse boat, the Cape Polaris. About the same size. Good boat. And Captain Brad Phillips, young guy, and we're seeing in that industry what we're seeing in our industry. The old guys are stepping down, letting the next generation come up. So we've got a lot of young skippers. The deckhands back in the day used to be guys like living over at Apache Lake. They're hiding from something. Let's just say.
Yeah.
And the deckhands back in the day were the same way.
Anybody who lived in Apache Junction for a while was
I get it. But things have really turned around, cleaned up. The landings are all cleaned up. Brand, a couple of years brand new. And the deckhands and the skippers understand that it's marketing to help Joe get his fish in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And customer service aboard these vessels is just absolutely paramount. So a lot of good boats to pick from over there. The Producer's another good vessel. Jim Sharp's boat, the Blue Horizon, little 55-footer. I personally spent 16 months on that boat.
16 months.
Yeah. At that time, it was a multi-use boat. At one time, had a contract with Scripps Institute to run oceanic study, data, science.
Mm-hmm.
But what we'd do is we'd get geared for April, start looking for yellowtail, and would fish it straight through till the fish went away, then convert it to dive, and then have sport dives.
Nice.
And you'd run the sport dives until the water got cold and the divers quit coming. And then one year we had this bright idea that, well, let's just go tuna commercial fishing. Bad mistake, idea. Carlos. Oh, man. Yeah, we had one trip up to Morro Bay, and as we were pulling in, I think everybody on board, including myself, was making deals with the good Lord that we couldn't. Oh, please, just let me get back to that. I promise. We had, water breaking over the wheelhouse. It was.
No.
We did catch fish, but we
it's
got
a heavy price to pay.
Yeah, we did, and we had a crew of 6 at that time. 5 of the 6 go, we're not doing that again.
You know how you pull and reel down? You pull, reel down, and puke at the same time, and then you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Family radio. Thank you. That's a harsh way to make a living.
It is. Yeah. My hat's off. We see the deadliest catch and all the drama that goes on board. It's for TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those guys have done more for exposing the public to where your dinner comes from and how it gets from one place to the next.
Do you know, though, that there's such a sense of disdain by the population at large, knowing where their meals come from? They disassociate. They don't want to be part of that.
Well, Deadliest Catch did a good job. Now, if we could do something for four-legged creatures, like Sandy Barr thinks sausage comes from Jimmy Dean.
Yeah.
I just caught the tail end of a new show where they're
Mountain Men?
Blue Marlin.
Really?
And these guys are catching 500, 600, 700, 800-pound blues.
What program is that?
I caught the tail end of it, but I'm telling you, they'd catch one fish, bring it into the dock to salesmen, and they'd take a core sample of it, and some of those things were bringing $7,000, $8,000, $9,000.
Yeah, Wicked Tuna's another one. These are the smaller 3-man boats that go out whacking the giant bluefins.
Yeah, I think that maybe that was it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, there's what I object to is all the drama and the BS that go.
Right.
Trust me, when you're out there, that doesn't happen. You challenge the captain,
You're going to get smacked down?
Big time. It's like fishing with Bobby Taft, not Bobby Taft, Chuck Taft. Chuck's an old salty sailor.
Right.
And he stays in the wheelhouse. His sole goal in life is to put his customers on that boat on fish and get the fish on the deck. If he comes rolling out of the wheelhouse,
you got a problem.
He's looking. If he starts, he doesn't say, "Oh, John, would you mind?" He just detonates, and usually it's on a deckhand.
Yeah.
And if the deckhand is doing everything right and the angler's not paying attention, and if he comes down on deck, he's going to be in your face like a wrestling coach. But you're going to get your fish on the boat. And then afterwards, he'll pat you on the back and say, "Come on, let's go have a beer. Good job on that fish." But I'm telling you, when Captain Taft rolls out of that wheelhouse, you better be on your A game. Even though you're paying to be there.
I have to learn to become a boss like that.
Oh, my God.
Bobby's if I come out of my Prius, by God, there's going to be hell to pay.
I thought we were going to quit picking on the Prius.
It's still shivering out there.
You just can't. Yeah. So,
I'm swear, I pulled my truck up next to it. It was shimmering.
That was the color of that finely detailed paint job. It wasn't moving.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I think this show, the opportunity for putting a lot of tuna in the freezer is going to be really good. So we'll see what Ricky's got to say. What's the deadline for deer?
June 10th, I think, this year. June 10th or June 14th, one of the two. Yeah, we have to have it in by then.
Yeah, we're going to get that done today. So
yeah.
Got a lot of other things coming up. ICAST is coming up in Orlando, Florida.
Are you going to go to that this year?
Strategically,
should.
Right now I'm planning on it, but now my attention is turned from going to Orlando to going to Botswana land.
You are going to have fun. Yeah.
Okay. Toughest fish, saltwater fish, pound for pound.
In my mind?
Yeah.
Albacore.
Yeah, they're tough.
Albacore, bluefin, yellowfin.
Mine, amberjack.
Them too.
That's a bicep killing machine.
Yeah, they're all, yellowtails in that jack family. And any of those guys, if they've got shoulders on them,
look out.
You're going to have Charlie horses in your shoulders before you come in. It's all right. We're going to stand down. I want to thank all the women and men and everybody out there protecting the country in harm's way. Today we don't have roll call. Praise God on that. We want to thank Bill at Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge and some of our other fine sponsors. We'll be back.
You're listening to Independent Talk. 1100
Running wide open on a midsummer breeze. Freshwater, saltwater, watch out, boys. Bass Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. It's me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and
now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troll. We're here with world-acclaimed hunter, Zimbabwe Joe from Lookout Mountain Outdoors, and Special K, president of the ADA, member of the AZSFWC, and what else? The Hungarian Gypsy Federation. Yeah, okay, got it.
I didn't know you were a hunky.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, big
purebred.
Yeah. Good stuff.
We've
been talking a little bit about what's happening over on the saltwater side of life, and we've got Rick from the tackle shop at H&M Landing, downtown San Diego, where the weather is always nice. Rick, good morning. How are you, man?
Good morning, Don. I'm good. Yeah, the weather is nice. A little overcast, but it's still about 68 degrees. It's perfect.
That's good stuff.
Over 100 yet?
Oh, yeah. We're experiencing 108, 9, 10.
Oh, man. All more reason to come out and go fishing, besides the great fishing we're having right now offshore. Already in June, yellowfin are going off on the longer trips, 2.5 day and up, and even the day and a half now are starting to get a few. The Top Gun picked up a couple on this last day and a half and a bunch of yellowtail, so...
Yeah, a lot of them.
Fishing.
What's in your opinion? What's the deal with the bluefin? I'm not seeing any counts.
You know what? I'm not seeing any either. Haven't heard of anybody catching these since that first whack we got, and they are a cooler water fish than the yellowfin are. So I think the yellowfin can be a little more aggressive, so they might be just pushing them out. They may have gone up north, they may have gone out west, but I haven't heard much talk about them at all. I know the seiners were on them pretty good, but I think they reached their limit. So if they're around, we'll have another whack at them. That's no doubt about that. And actually, somebody even caught the first dorado of the season already.
Oh, nice.
In June, no less.
That's yum.
Yeah,
dorado?
great.
That doesn't get any better than that right there. Yep.
Good stuff. The Legend called in a few minutes ago. They're on their first morning of their 2.5 day trip. They left last night. They've already got 20 yellowfin and 50 yellowtail.
How far down they run?
Most of those fish have been between 130 and 150 miles. That's why those 2.5 day trips are really the best bet for the money right now. Yeah. But that's changing. Like I said, the Top Gun's on a day and a half, and they just came back with picked up a couple of yellowfin farther north. So those fish are scouting forward. So
yeah, they're moving.
Yep.
What's the scoop on the Yellowtail Derby that John Campbell is hosting?
Well, I think I saw the big fish so far was like 28 pounds or something. There's still plenty of opportunity there. There's still big fish down at the islands, well over 30. So if you go, make sure you register beforehand so you can win that big prize. Most of the yellows have been kind of slow at the islands here lately. There's still plenty of fish around, but for some reason they've got lockjaw. It's kind of like post-spawn bass, but...
yeah. How much havoc did that little hurricane blow create on your fishing grounds?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
It petered out so far south it was no big deal at all. But you bass anglers, if you're getting tired of that hot weather bass, and come out here and fish calico bass, that stuff is really going off. If you want to catch 20, 30 fish in the afternoon,
now that's
it's a great way to go. Oh, yeah, good eating and fun catching, fishing plastics, fishing bass-type lures.
Oh, yeah.
It's about as fun as it can get. Stuff like the bass tricks only lasts about 2 fish, but... they're fun to catch.
Yeah, boy. Looks like there's quite a few sand bass being boated as well.
Yeah, you know what? That's another thing, another signal that it's a little El Nino weather, because it's coming up a lot early. You haven't had them in June for probably 3 or 4 years. It's usually been a July thing, but they're starting to pick up. They haven't really come in mass like they do yet, because it is still a little early. But, when that starts going off, talk about a great opportunity to take kids fishing and get them hooked on fishing. That sand bass bite is nothing like it.
When historically does the big schools of barracuda start to pop up?
They've been showing up anytime from April on. We've had a few so far this week, a few more at the islands and things like that. But one of the downsides of the barracuda is they're pretty easy to find, and it's pretty easy to net them. And those guys have been using barracuda a lot to feed those tuna pens down in Mexico.
Really?
So that's put a big dent in it. But there have been a lot of schools that have snuck away and headed up north, too. So there's still plenty of fish around. We just got to get them to come around. But, yeah, that feeding tuna in the pens uses a lot of resources.
How's the bait receiver doing on bait?
Still tough to get anything but anchovies, but they're having fairly decent luck with the 3 to 5 inch anchovies, which is perfect bait. It's just
absolutely.
We have a generation of people that haven't learned to fish an anchovy. They've been spoiled by sardines all these years.
Well, and then there's a bunch of guys that like to fish soft plastics also.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know what? That's one thing to remember when you're going out tuna fishing. And these guys that come out here, make sure you bring things like mega baits or some like 5-inch swim baits.
Yeah.
Because fishing that slide, a lot of times if the bait isn't in good shape, you'll catch have just as good luck catching them on that stuff as you will on the bait.
Absolutely. There's a lot of manufacturers for the soft plastic replaceable bodies. Who's your favorite?
You know what? There's probably MC Swim Baits is my favorite.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Corey makes a good bait.
And, Corey's a pretty good guy, too, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
We got to talking when he really started to get going. I asked him if what's the chances of doing a trout pattern, and he goes, what? Anyway, long story short, he made me about 24 trout pattern. We were whacking fish over here at Apache Lake on them, and then I started running low on bait on a tuna trip, started throwing that trout pattern.
Yep.
Man. Awesome for tuna.
Yeah, he makes a good lure. You know what? Have you seen his freshwater stuff yet?
I have not.
He's got some swim bait type weedless freshwater swim baits that are pretty killer. You got to give him a call again.
Yeah, well, we need to get over there. We're getting ready to kind of come to the conclusion of our obligations out on tour with this event, that event, blah blah blah. So.
Well, I know you guys can cast pretty well, but I don't think you can hit the ocean from where you're at. So
we need to sneak up on it.
All right, guys. Well, we hope to see you soon.
Absolutely.
Anybody wants to go fishing out here, give us a call at 619-222-1144 or look at hmlanding.com. You can book online. And it's a good way to beat the heat and catch a bunch of fish.
Absolutely. Well stated. Rick, have a good day, man. Give everybody my regards. Rick over at H&M Landing, the tackle shop. 619-222-1144 or hmlanding.com.
I want to go. End of June, we have to set it up.
Yeah, one more week, one more hard week, and then schedules will lighten up. And even the way the fish are, I have no problem running over there and hopping on the Malahini boat,
doing it. Just a run.
Even if it's 2 days in a row. I mean, it's an easy trip. And the opportunity to do some full contact fishing with 25 guys you don't know, not a problem.
I have an idea that I'm going to go and I am going to be just tossed all over this boat.
No, you've got an advantage over most any other angler that I know. He's quite the dancer. Okay? We have a thing that I will teach you to do. It's called the tuna shuffle.
The tuna shuffle.
Follow your line, follow your line, follow your line. JK, ain't telling you no more. Follow your line. Boom! I don't know if he can do that without his cowboy boots on, though.
Oh, I can do it with deck boots, yeah.
Deck boots?
Yeah.
I just had this mental image of shorts and cowboy boots.
Running down. No. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. As long as you don't run me over and toss me off the ship, I'm good to go.
No, I'm good. My goal at my point in life, I would give up a fish to see you catch a fish. And I go out of my way, having been on the deck and the charter master for a lot of days. I like to see guys get their fish in the boat.
Yep.
Yeah. The reality of everybody sitting here at this table, regardless of the color of our hair, we're 12. We're just 12 years old.
Always will be.
Big for our age. We're going to stand down, come back, and do some more stuff. I'm Don McDowell with
Joe Nocta.
JK.
Indeed. We'll be right back.
It seems so useless to remain, but you don't have to call me darling.
All right, Darwin, we're back. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's around the corner. We've got the Big Game Forever Grassroots Barbecue, June the 4th, Saguaro Park Ranch, 9802 North 59th Avenue at historic restored Saguaro Ranch. Used to be a farm. You're going to love it. They have chickens.
Really?
Peacocks.
The heck with the peacocks. I got chickens, I'm happy.
I'm telling you, you go over there and start messing with those peacocks, you're going to get pecked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like turkeys on steroids. Sean Matheson will be down to give us an update on what the current situation is on the wolf issue in Washington, and we're really supporting Big Game Forever to do the lobbying and whatever else.
That always
needs to go
feels
on.
like we're going in with a slingshot to a gunfight.
It does, but J.K., the reality of it is the rules are made in Washington, D.C., not necessarily Albuquerque.
No. Washington, D.C. is where most of that is at. That's why the Humane Society is so powerful. I mean, good Lord.
Well, they just lost that $24 million.
That is a drop in their bucket.
I know it.
It would kill us, but it's a drop in their bucket.
Are you going to be able to join us on the 4th?
Probably.
Nice.
He's committed, locked.
Yeah, I expect a couple folks from the department to come down, hang out.
I would hope somebody would be representing the department. Mr. DeVos. Mr. DeVos.
Who?
Mr. DeVos.
Nice. Yeah, he ended up with a nice turkey hunt last night.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Jim knew what he was getting into there.
Yeah, boy. Coming up, we have the Mountain High Games in another place where the weather is always nice in downtown Payson.
Yes.
Yep. That's the weekend of the 7th, and you're entered in the Mud
Tough
Fest.
Mudder. By the way,
Tough Mudder.
You're going to be up there 4th of July as well, aren't you?
Yes.
5th of July.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up and run with it.
Well, there's going to be an infamous or famous cornhole tournament in cooperation with the town of Payson and the McDowell Casino. McDowell Casino.
And Build a Crusher,
by the
Jeep,
way,
Dodge,
if you
Ram.
play any form of gambling with slot machines or any of that stuff, the McDowell Casino, they have that hunting for bucks going on now.
I saw that.
$5,000 gift card to Cabela's is the top prize. That's a chunk of change.
Now, what do you have to do to qualify to win that?
It's really simple.
I'm not getting it.
They have it running for 3 months. You go in and you say, you get one of those ID cards that says how much you've played. Okay,
right.
You play for half hour, 45 minutes. Maybe you win, maybe you lose, but by the dollars that you've played during that time, you accumulate points. And for every X number of points, you get a green card that you stick in, not the green card, but a green card, the way that's the color is, and you stick it into the raffle barrel. And if you're there at the end of June, they're going to have a drawing.
That's an actual raffle and not a bucket of
barrel of
opportunity.
Barrel of opportunity.
Okay, whatever.
No, it is a true barrel. And you can put your tickets in there. Top prize is $5,000 gift card. They've got prizes going down, I think, from $3,000, $2,000, $1,000, and the top ones is $5,000. I mean, just to go out and if you normally play up there at all, or any of the casinos in town, and you're a hunter, you might as well go up to Payson. I got a little T-shirt, hunting for bucks. That casino is probably one of the most proactive in terms of relationships with hunters. They understand the hunting community
and the angling community.
Yeah, they do, and I'm really thrilled that they're going to be having that, and you're going to be up there for the cornhole tournament.
Yeah, we'll be there. The dealership is partnering with McDowell Casino, Build a Crusher, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and this time Fiat. We'll have some, maybe up to a half dozen Fiats, including the Fiat Pup.
Do they have? Is that the off-highway vehicle Fiat?
You know what? I tried. God, I'm getting in trouble. Hope Kim's not listening. They brought 5 Fiats up for the Mountain High Games.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have an ATV to enter, so I went and got one of the Pops.
No.
Oh yeah, they're smaller than a side-by-side.
Really?
Yeah, the guy wouldn't let me enter. I don't know what the malfunction was.
Yeah, it's smaller than a side-by-side.
And then Joey let us use his ATV. That's one Guggenauer drugged me around the field on the cowhide.
Cowhide.
Yeah, awesome. That ATV has scoots. How big is that motor in there?
It's 700.
700?
Yeah, they make them bigger now.
I know.
I would pay to watch that again.
I'd pay again because next time it's Jim's turn.
You think you're going to get Guggenauer on a cowhide?
Well, we may have to drug him in time on, yeah.
That's okay.
He's going.
He's going. It'll work.
You drag him behind a bass boat, I don't care. He's just going to get drugged somehow.
Oh, that would be horrid.
Now they call it skiing.
Yeah. Well,
wakeboarding.
Yeah, but not if you're on a rubber inner tube.
Yeah. It's
which would
all
be
good.
the equivalent.
But that cornhole contest is coming down July the 5th at Green Valley Park. In conjunction, they're having a 2 or 3 day 4th
of July weekend.
Yeah, So, it's a good opportunity to get out of the heat, go play some cornhole, and hang out at the casino. The food at the casino,
Oh, that's awesome food.
Oh, yeah. The
Cedar Ridge
Farm Rib up
Restaurant?
there, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I have to hand it to you guys. The dinner last night at the banquet was
They did
excellent.
an awesome job.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. The Wild Horse Pass Casino, that meat was perfectly cooked for everybody.
And we didn't have peas.
No.
That was a phenomenal meal.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
totally was.
Little extra for us to put it that way, but you know what? I'd much rather have a good meal and pay $10 more for it than to have the rubber chicken that a lot of the places do. I've been to some banquets.
I'm
not saying
you.
AES, but some of that food's been awfully tough.
Yeah.
And this one was a really, really good meal. I was very pleased with that.
What's the ADA got coming up work projects-wise for the balance of the year?
In terms of the rest of this year, we're clean. We don't have anything scheduled. However, I know that...
Are we going to be hauling water with Randy?
It all depends on the monsoons. Randy Whitlow has been doing it already. They were doing a couple more projects on the 260 where they were taking down some of the elk jumps because of liability issues. Yeah. But the biggest thing that we're going to see is that between now and the 1st of September, I'll probably be up there several times. We're taking a look at some of the proposals for HPC projects where I get to go field tripping, going with the WMs and say, okay, what do you want to do? Where do you want to do it? And why do you want to do it? And I was at a meeting.
Are these on HPC projects?
Yeah, we had a meeting Wednesday night. Wednesday night we had a meeting in Payson with the HPC committee, and the ranchers, Mike, Bob Benet, and Ray Tanner were all there. And we were talking about what we can do and what kind of projects they're looking for, how much money they've got already. Because the ranchers are starting to finally figure it out. And Ray Tanner's one of the best. He's got a lot of federal money coming in. But if you go up the Houston Mesa Road, he's done a really good job of clearing out a lot of that PJ and turning it back into what it was, 50, 60, 70 years ago, which is grasslands. And he's one of the smartest ranchers that I've ever found. He used to own the dealerships here in town. And he spends a lot of time up there. He knows plant life. He knows browse monitoring. He knows everything there is to know. And he knows how to put together dirt tanks as well as big projects. So we're looking at what he's going to do this year.
Clarify one thing for me. The Forest Service goes out and they put up all these fences.
Forest Service doesn't put any fences up now.
Back in the day?
What it was, the people who put the fencing up were the ranchers. And they put those up for... specifically so that they could have their cattle in different pastures. They had to move them. 100 years ago, there were no fences except for main ones where, you go 25-mile circuits, and, of course, the cattle being what they were, they'd stay near the riparian areas or the water and wherever the food was, and they'd overbrowse. Well, now the ranchers move them from pasture to pasture. That's why you see those fences and say, please close gate, and you have cattle guards and everything else so the animals don't escape and so that they don't sit and overgraze a particular area. And they're under requirements. The Fish and Wildlife Services and the Forest Service, they go out with them and take a look at what they're doing to the land. And if they overbrowse it, they get penalized for that. They can get taken to the principal's office on that, and they don't want that. So what they do is they monitor how much forage base is being utilized by their stuff. And then you combine that with whatever the elk herds are doing. They have to be very, very careful. That's why, it's $15,000 to set up a mile of T-post and 3 barbed wire fencing. You put in the elk jumps on top of that and smooth wire on the bottom. You're talking some significant money.
Well, I just find it curious the amount of time, effort, money, and resources thrown at taking the fences down.
Oh, it's enormous. I mean, I've been on projects where if we did a mile and it's a crew of 6 of us during a day, we're happy, particularly through rolling terrain, high country terrain. Yeah. It's hard.
All right, when we come back, we're going to go see James Guggenauer, see what's happening over at the Mother Lake, and perhaps some words on Bartlett, Apache, Canyon, and Saguaro. I'm Don McDowell.
JK.
Joe Nocta.
We will be back.
Nobody there at my honey hole. Looks like I got it made. And now I've caught a big one, so forget that hourglass. If you just wait a minute, Then we both can kiss my bass.
Kiss my bass.
Nice.
Kiss my back.
I'm going
Our Master Rod Builder theme song, James Guggenhauer from downtown Payson, where the weather is always nice. How nice is it, James?
50 degrees this morning, Don.
That's pretty nice, buddy. Yeah, I think we had 84 this morning, so it's
I think that's supposed to be our high today.
Rub it in. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Doing
go
fine,
ahead.
James.
okay. Nice talking to you, Jim.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's on your report? A lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I just checked the water level here this morning. The water level dropped another 1%, so it's at 47% full. And the Tonneau Creek has basically stopped flowing. It's like 1 or 2 cubic feet per second here this morning.
We call that a dribble.
Yeah, it's just barely in there. The Salt River is flowing at about 30% of its normal rate for this time of year. And as a result of that, and it happens every year about this time, we're starting to hear about some areas where algae is starting to show up. There's some green tint to the water over in Long Gulch. If guys are familiar with that area, there's some algae growing there. Also around the Vineyard area. So if you are fishing those areas, fishermen, they're always looking for opportunities to catch fish. If you're fishing an area where the water's a little bit tinted green, you might want to switch over to more like of a bullfrog color or a green watermelon color rather than a clear bait in that type of water. Bass fishing overall was called fair, which is really down. We've been excellent for the last month or so, but the bass are moving into a summer pattern, and a lot of anglers that they're kind of wondering where all the fish went that they've caught over the last couple of months. But this transition to deeper water is kind of normal for this time of year, so it's going to be deep water and slower activity for the next couple of months.
Well, plus that, Jim, we had a low-pressure weather front move in and kind of goof things up for a couple of days.
That will definitely push them deeper, dude. You'll be right. Now, the top water bite that we've been talking about is still happening, but it seems like I keep getting reports that it's earlier and earlier. I mean, these guys are there at safe light, and they're saying that it's still working for a bit in the morning, and but it doesn't take long. As soon as it starts to get bright outside, it seems like that bite dies down. And so most guys are switching over to deeper structure, 15 to 25 feet of water, weightless Senkos, drop shot, and Texas rigs were the baits reported last week. The crappie bite, most of our crappie anglers now, because they've been struggling so much during the day, they are switching over to nighttime fishing for crappie. And it was actually pretty good last week. I got several good reports. Guys are using live minnows. That's what they always use. The other thing that was good is we just had a new moon, so they use these crappie lights that bring bait fish up to the boat, and then the crappie will come up. And so they'll be effective again this week. And around the marina is third week in a row. Guys are still, I won't say they tie up to the marina, but they're closely positioned to the tires down there at the marina.
Yeah, okay, good.
And then,
yeah, you're okay unless Officer Bubba from Gila County sees that.
Right. And,
I'm just saying.
That's one of the advantages of being out there at nighttime, right? But, hey, the trout fishing on the Rim Lakes, lots of people were up there over Memorial Day weekend, and just can't believe all the good reports we're getting there. Over the top was the expression that most guys used. Power baits and salmon eggs for shore-type fishermen, and then spinner baits and super dupers and panther martins for guys who fish with ultralight rods. And a new bait for your fly fishermen is a crick hopper. Crickets are starting to come out, and so this bait is an imitation of a cricket. And early morning and late evenings, they were talking about success on those things.
By the way, Jim, just so you know, I happened to be on Woods Canyon Lake on Memorial Day itself, and I limited out using a silver Z-Ray with red dots and I had 3 split shots spread out about 18 inches above the lure, and just, casting from shore. I caught, 5 trout, right, boom, 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 boom.
And you were using your Snoopy go-get-'em rod?
That's not nice.
Was the one that lighted up?
No, it was my ugly stick.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, seriously, they were hitting on Z-rays.
Yeah, and that's a typical report, John. Guys are telling me that it takes longer to drive there than it does to catch your limit. So a lot of good activity up there, and you can't, I keep going back to this, and a lot of guys overlook it, that our Game and Fish does a great job of keeping those lakes in good condition, lots of good fish there, lots of good opportunities for people to go catch trout, and a good way to start kids into fishing. Just can't beat that.
As an adult, I think it would be more fun to go over to the Canyon Creek hatchery and fish from there.
During the night.
During the night, yeah.
Yeah.
You, me, and the bears.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That must be...
And we're reminding everybody locally up here, we are 2 weeks away this weekend from the Arizona Game and Fish Commissioners meeting up here in Payson.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Yes, sir. Lots of good topics going to come up, and hope the commissioners understand that they'll probably get some comments on the wolf topic. We're going to be talking about gizzard shad. We're going to be talking about warm water hatcheries that Game and Fish is going to develop. So a lot of good topics there. We're asking our members from the Gila County Round Table to all show up in numbers. So it ought to be a pretty interesting event down there.
Well, we'll see you there. In the meanwhile, you should have had an invitation to the Big Game Forever Grassroots Barbecue next Wednesday. Are you going to be able to make it?
We're going to be out of town, but I do appreciate the invite, though. But it sounds like a good time, good effort.
Well, we'll have one up in your neighborhood in the week following or so. Depends on what Sean's schedule is.
You do need to meet with him. You understand that, James?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, James, that's a really good report. A couple other things. We're starting the time of year where we're starting our night tournaments, and one of the big ones I've got to tell you about here is the Arizona Bass Nation Summer Team Open at Apache Lake. This event is Saturday, June 12th, there at the main marina, and the fishing just ought to be dynamite.
Yeah, going Apache this year has just been over the top with the weights that are coming in there. Everybody's been amazing. So I'm sure this time of year guys will figure out fish in a hurry.
Well, the Bass Nation, this is a 2-angler team event, 5-fish limit, 12-inch minimum. Entry fee is $250 a team with an 80% payback. Big fish option plays 2 paces, 60-40, and the payouts are paying 1 and 7. That's 2 places deeper than normal, so should be a good deal. Launches at 6 p.m. at the main marina. Weigh-in is at the same place you launched at the main marina at 6 a.m., so that's fishing all night. And it's hard to get a nap in when things go flat about 2 in the morning. It's hard to stay awake, let's say. And then at 7 o'clock they have the awards, a raffle, and so on at the Apache Lake Restaurant.
Is that going to be hot dogs or donuts at 7
No, that's hopefully eggs and bacon about that time, so.
Hey, the good thing about those tournaments is that they get to take advantage of that early morning bite. And I know guys at 2 o'clock, they'll stretch out on the boat for a couple hours and get ready for that last push in the early morning there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of big fish get caught in that last hour before those tournaments end.
Okay, and then some of the other guys having a summer night series will be All-Star. Don't know what John's doing. Total Bass Addicts, Chandler Bass, All-Star again, Patagonia Elite, Chandler Bass, and a couple others. I don't know what is NBC. Have you heard? Are they having a night series?
I haven't heard NBC. I have heard most of those that you said, and I know that John Sneed is doing his summer night events.
Yeah, not sure what his schedule is. We'll reconnoiter that next week and get it up on the website. James, have a great day up there where the weather is always nice.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
All right, we'll be thinking about you. James Guggenauer, Rim Country Custom Rods. Check him out. Great rod builder. We're going to stand down, take a break, come back and get this thing wrapped up.
I know she don't love me. I know she ain't.
Catfish land, she yelled at me and said, "Get up, son, come along with me and let's have some fun."
Pretty fun stuff. Okay, hey guys, one more time, the Big Game Forever discussion on wolves, getting involved, what it all means to us, whether you're a hunter, fisherman, or just a guy or girl.
You know, the key, Don, is that people, if they want to know what's going on in Washington, it may be appalling, but they need to know.
Yeah.
And if they come to those things, they'll figure out real quickly that we're under attack.
We've got a governor election coming up, and the emails are flying, support me, and I'm asking questions, and not getting any response back, especially from Steve Smith. I don't know about this guy.
You know, we're going to see where it all comes out in the wash, but we'll be involved with it.
Well,
I guarantee
we're
you
going to be asking the questions. Anyway, Wednesday, June the 4th, 5:30 to 8:30, roughly, Saguaro Ranch Park, Glendale, Arizona, 9802 North 59th Avenue. It's the west side of the park, but you can't miss it. Historic Saguaro Ranch. Glendale's done a great job. Hope to see you there. You can give me a call at 623-221-7655. Email me, Don at ShakeRattleAndTroll.com, or Scott Corcoran, Vice President of Southwest Fur Harvesters, 623-695-5887. Or you can call Joe Nacci at home, and that phone number's... What?
Yeah.
You're involved. All right, let's...
I just want to know what dish Scott's bringing to pass so I can pass on it.
You know, whatever he's bringing, I'm not eating it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, there's... It could be coyote stew.
Yeah, raccoon fondue. I don't think so. I'm not part of that.
He's a good... Hey, if he takes the first bite, I'll follow suit. You never know. Contact information for you.
602-795-HUNT 4868.
Hunt 4868.
Hunt. I like it.
I do too.
Lookout Mountain, and you are located.
Well, which way you want to go, north or south?
I'm usually coming southbound off the 101.
Well, then I'd be south of the candy store, and you're
okay. That's good stuff. Just
I'm coming up Cave Creek Road, and it'll be just north of Bridget's.
I'm a block and a half north of Bell on Cave Creek.
At the feed store.
I prefer Bridget's last laugh.
Joey, if you guys want to come in and purchase a firearm and you have to order it, how long does that take generally?
Through my main distributor, if it's in Reno, I get it in 2 days. If it's South Carolina, 3 days, 4 tops. So it's a pretty good turnover.
Very cool. I want to thank you for the ADA banquet, the Explorer Optics that were down there. I can't emphasize enough how what a fine line of optics they have, John.
I've looked through some of their glass.
I'm telling you.
It's certainly not
as
bad.
As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to jerk that burris off the long gun and go to one of the big bore rifle scopes, especially now that we're studying Botswana land.
Botswana land. There you go.
I got to ask you, did you hunt in long pants over there or shorts?
I've done both. There's areas in times of year that you do not want to be in shorts.
Ideally, weather-wise, what's the best time of the year to hunt South Africa?
Where you're going to be going?
Yeah.
If you want bitter cold, do it in mid-July.
Pete did that.
I don't want bitter cold. I want it where the weather is.
Then you need to go
like
earlier.
Downtown Payson.
You need to go earlier or later than that. About this time of year would be a perfect time to be there.
I'm packing.
But that's for
Nice.
next year. Or you need to push it back into, later August, September.
That's doable.
But July, I was there in July, and I'll tell you what, about froze to death being in an open vehicle.
Really?
Oh, it was cold.
I don't equate cold in Africa necessarily, but I guess they have wintertime.
Pete said he got off the plane one year. He was going over for a hunt, and he wasn't prepared, and he looked out as they were landing, and it was white. They had snow.
And he was in shorts.
And he was in shorts.
I know Pete. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always in shorts, but yeah.
Always, yeah.
Nah, I take that back. When I've seen him on some of the hunts we've been on together, he knows how to dress. But he was not prepared for Africa in July to be below 20 degrees.
What's the attire for your professional hunter? Are they always bound up in shorts?
Most of them wear shorts and long socks with some time of their own homemade leggings that they. Because
what if they just wear wrong pants?
I have no idea.
Because that's got to be like Arizona. What doesn't have thorns is going to bite you.
Boys in Africa can walk, let me tell you. All day, all night, they don't care. That's what they do. They walk. I think it's just a more comfortable deal for them.
Okay, we've got the passport. Obviously, got to hit the road, get in condition a little bit. Is there a requirement for any type of shots?
Just for you, yes.
Thank you.
No, I'm sure where you're going to be going is what they'd call disease-free, no malaria. It wouldn't hurt to take a prophylactic to combat. They do have some antibiotics you can get on prior to going, but I'm sure where you're going is malaria-free and probably has been for many years.
I love the look on his face. You said malaria, and he turned a funny shade of yellow real quick.
Let me tell you, malaria over there is like a flu to them guys. You or I get it, we're in trouble.
We're done.
Yeah, we're going to be in a hospital.
All right, I have to see my doctor on Tuesday, so...
There's some very common antibiotics that you can take prior, so if you do get it, you won't get it any worse than what they get it. When they get, and they take nothing for it. I've seen a guy with malaria over there, and I'm like, "That's it?" Yeah, he said, "But you don't want it." He said, "You're going to go down."
How do they treat it, with quinine?
Used to be a long time ago. Quinine,
pretty much, yeah. I have been sick over there once, and had to go into Cherezi in Zimbabwe, and that was a little different, but doctor,
little different. Yeah.
But actually, it was a very good doctor, and she said, basically this flu's been going around, and you have it. And
if you had to give 3 points of advice, what would they be?
Going over there?
Yeah, for a first-time guy. Can I drink the water?
Listen to your pH. Okay,
that's number one.
Number one,
oh, yeah.
and that takes in a wide range of things. You are not just going to go over there, raise a rifle up, and shoot because they'll beat you with a stick. It's a much more controlled circumstance. They're going to find you a trophy quality animal and show you which one you're going to take and set you up and hunt it so you can take the animal. You just don't raise up and shoot there. You need to listen to that pH, read about it, because you'll find out.
I'll be like chocolate frosting on a Hostess cupcake on that guy.
Let me tell you, between the trackers and the professional hunter, they're going to find what you want to hunt. If you say, I want to hunt warthog today, they're going to put you on a warthog.
That's top of the list, but the rest of them are going to have to put some thought and some discussion in it, because I think we get 3 animals a piece.
Well, you have a credit for trophy fees.
Yeah.
Okay, and depending on what you take, that could burn up way beyond, one animal could burn up way beyond what you have.
Like a 60-inch kudu?
That area is going to be hard-pressed because they get I think kind of the East Cape kudu have infiltrated in that area, and they don't produce, or very rarely, a 60-inch kudu in those areas.
That's an invasive species. That'll be on my list.
Yeah. But you never know. You could run into King Kong there. But they do have great gemsbuck. Red hartebeest are good. Blue wildebeest, black wildebeest are excellent. Springbuck, blessbuck.
Yeah.
I took a springbuck I couldn't believe. In fact, that was in 98, but I think at the time it went number 9 in the world.
Wow.
So,
well, that'll bring clean, drain, and dry your game to a whole new level.
How about water buffalo?
Cape buffalo.
Are they there?
In that area? Well, they were originally. Okay, and then the farmers kind of got rid of them because they could be a nuisance and a problem.
Yeah.
But what they've reintroduced disease-free buffalo, so they're not carrying hoof and mouth. Because if regular cattle get in with a Cape buffalo, they're a goner pretty much. So they've been raising them, and they have turned them loose on numerous properties in that area, and I'm sure they're multiplying at a rate because the predator factor is way low right there.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll do some homework on that. Joey, God love you. Thanks for coming down. Check out all the fun stuff up at Lookout Mountain Outdoors. You got a shop there. JK, outstanding event last night.
By the way, that was Pete's last banquet. He's been doing it 35 years.
I bet another donut on that one.
Well, you almost bet mine, too, because I've been doing it 25. We're
Guys,
tired.
check out the SRT website. More information. We'll have the Big Game Forever information up there, and some of the Summer Night Series, and the Arizona Bass Nation Summertime Open at Apache Lake. I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Joe Nocta.
Zimbabwe Joe. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat. Watch out for warthogs.